We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Well, there you go, Joe. It worked tonight.
It was supposed to work 2 weeks ago, but that's cool.
It didn't though, but we're back. That was what we had. That's what we wanted for everybody last week. But
I was jamming out to that, man. That was some good shit.
Yeah, that was.
It finally works.
Yeah.
Go along, but I like it. I like it. It's hectic and chaotic, and it's
like
us.
Hell.
Well, we got some people joining us already. We got Millennium Workshop, Payne's Toy Samples, Duffman's here. I feel like we're back on track now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Flex is here.
What's up, everybody?
We got Seth. Seth is back.
Seth is back for the third or fourth time. He's like a permanent fixture here.
I think this is probably my third time, I think.
Yeah, and that was third or fourth. I couldn't keep track.
But it's all right. I listen, when you want to have the best in the world, you know that's what happens.
Exactly.
I'm right.
Exactly.
Yeah. We just have such a good time when you're here. So
yeah,
why not just keep having you?
Yeah, why not have you?
It's YouTube in time.
I feel like it's always YouTubing time. It's become like a full-time job, it seems like.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir, man.
But it's still fun. I'm having fun doing it. So as long as it's fun, I don't care. But
that's all that matters.
Yeah. Speaking of the best of the world, CM Punk and WWE. Me and you haven't talked too much about that, but it's pretty cool to see. What do you think about that? I know you love it.
Listen, like it's saying across the scroll at the bottom of the thing, hell is frozen over. I mean, no one thought in a million years that that would be possible. But after like we were talking about before, like after McMahon was out of the picture, again, Triple H is the type of guy that likes to make connections, fix things that have, fix the wrongs, make things right, make amends, build bridges, because again, at the end of the day, it's a business and this is about making money. And what bigger name out there, than CM Punk to bring back? I mean, the guy broke all kinds of records already as far as merchandise and, social media posts and all kinds of things. I mean, Listen, that night at Survivor Series, I knew that he was coming back. I felt it in my heart, and I knew it. So when Captain Powerlift, because Captain Powerlift comes over and watches all the pay-per-views with me because he's my wrestling buddy. He came over and he came over. I opened up the front door. And I was like looking at him. I was like, hey, happy CM Punk return day. He's like, you need to cut that shit out. It ain't fucking happening. I'm like, dude, it's happening. And then we're going. And I said, listen, and as the pay-per-view went on, and I thought there was a couple of spots where it could have happened. Mm-hmm. I got a little discouraged as the night went on. And I was like, man, I was like, listen, if it's not gonna happen now, it's gonna happen at the Royal Rumble. Those are the only two spots that the return could have taken place, because obviously Survivor Series was in Chicago and we all know what happens in Chicago every time. Yeah. And then the Royal Rumble, as a surprise entry, it may be like in the teens or the 20s,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But him coming out and the pay-per-view's ending and he's like, ha 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 ha, I told you. And then all of a sudden the music hit, and I jumped off my couch. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, and I'm like flicking him off, and I'm like, "Fuck you! I told you, I knew this was gonna happen." And he's like, "All right, I think that's my cue to leave," you know. And it's just like, dude, I don't think I've ever been that like emotionally invested,
right?
And also like that. Like jacked, like my adrenaline was just pumping so much that night that I couldn't sleep. I was just like so overstimulated from the fact that he was back. It was great. I mean, again, and like I said, it was only a matter of time. It had to happen.
Yeah.
So the fact that it did, and they were able to work things out. Hopefully this is his final, resting place, and he finishes up his career here. He gets he headlines his WrestleMania. He wins the belt. He has like another championship run, and then he retires. He gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then and that's that.
I had a similar situation. My buddy usually comes over and watches them with me, but he was we were texting back and forth, and he was like, "Looks like it's not going to happen." And then it went zzz, zzz, and you saw the little screen up top, and I'm like,
yeah.
I love that they did it with the copyright stamp at the bottom, like it was over.
Oh yeah, they tricked me.
It was actually pretty AEW like the way they did it, which I don't. But that's usually what they kind of sometimes. It just had a feeling of AEW to me, which I don't really like.
I get it,
but I did like what they did. I did like how they did it though. But
I thought it was just a given. I've been out of the wrestling loop for a long time. When I heard that he was getting departed from AEW, I was like, well, he's going to be back on WWE now. I just,
where else do you go, right?
Yeah, like where else? Do you
go?
I
mean, he could. I mean, he had offer. He actually had, an offer to go to TNA, but I mean, listen, he's basically wrestled for every group. Every company that's out there, he was in Ring of Honor. I think he did a couple of stints in New Japan. He's done Impact and TNA back in the day. He's done AEW, he's done WWE. It's like, everybody that's wrestled in WWE left and then come back. They come back because they want to have one final run, and then that way they can get go into the Hall of Fame. They sign their Legends deal. And that's it. That's what everybody, that's what it's like he said at the end of his first promo. He's not here to make friends. He's here to make money. And that's what it is. It's a business.
Oh, he's good at that. So
yeah,
that's why we use the same thing. Hell's frozen over, because nobody thought I'd be back on all that effing figures, but here we are. And
you know what? Listen, stranger things have happened, man. Trust me.
I mean, it's not the magnitude of CM Punk, but
Listen, I've had my run-ins. I've had my YouTube run-ins with people where I was friends with people for a long time, and then things happened, and then and then give it some time, and people get over their personal differences, and things are good again. I mean, again, listen, the one thing I've learned is that sometimes friendships are just more important than than the small stuff.
Oh yeah.
People that you meet, whether whatever hobby you're in, or through YouTube, those are friendships that you make, and it's like, what are you squabbling over? What are you getting all bent out of shape about? Yeah, people come and go, but there's that select few that just, again, I always say if people want to stay in your life, they'll find a way to stay in your life. And that's my mentality these days. I stopped a long time ago trying to make people happy, and trying to cater to others. Now I'm just doing what I want to do. And again, I think I've said it before on the show a bunch of other times. I know I've said it on my stuff. There's no gray area with me. It's either you love me or you hate me. And that's that's how I roll.
I guess
it's too damn hard trying to please everybody.
It is.
You can't do it. You'll kill yourself.
Yeah, you can't make everybody happy, and that's just the way it is. And again, either people will fucking get over it and move on, or they won't, and they'll hate you till the end of time.
Right. That's true. It's not worth all of it. You know, it's too life's too short for all that shit, man.
Life's too short, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Duffman's sick too, Joe.
Yeah,
everybody's sick. There's something. It's COVID. Whether it's COVID or the flu or just a cold, shit's going around. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you got kids, you're sick all the time.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh, don't even, dude. The fucking when my older son's in high school now, thank God. But my younger son, he's still in elementary school, and fucking elementary school is like a freaking cesspool for germs. I mean, listen, when that kid first started elementary school and then was in daycare and then elementary school, every other week that kid was home with fucking pink eye.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Every other week he was home with pink eye.
You know, when I first found out that I was having a kid, everybody had something to say. You know, oh, the terrible two is this, that. Not one person said, hey, you're gonna be sick every freaking week till the time he's 18. Not one person said that. Where was that information?
Right?
Jeez, man.
So it does look like you're having a lot more fun on your toy hunts. I mean, you had fun before, but it looks like you're more loose. You don't care about the copyright music like you said. Oh
yeah, I don't. I stopped. But listen, money complicates things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so money complicates things. Again, like listen, I'll pull back the curtain because again, I don't give a shit these days. People get into things for the wrong reasons and people get into things for the right reasons. I got into doing YouTube initially for the right reasons, then it turned into the wrong reasons. And again, money complicates things. And now, again, now I'm just going about doing my own thing. And again, I'm living my best life right now. And I'm having fun with putting out the content I'm putting out. I put out what I want. I say what I want. I do what I want. I don't have to worry about it affecting other people. So again, I just do me, which is what everybody always likes to see, is just me being me. And again, if you've met me in person, the way I am on camera is the same way I am off camera. What you see is what you get. I don't, Joe, you've met me, and you've come up and you talk to me, and again, I'm a nice guy. You come up to me, you talk to me, and I'll stand there and talk to you until your face turns blue.
After the initial "get the fuck away from me," then we were good.
There are some stories out. No,
listen. I'd love to hear those. I'd love to hear those stories because anyone that's ever met me, I don't think has anything bad to ever say about me. So,
no, I've never heard no one.
Yeah, but again, and I took some time off, and I came back because I had guys like Mike and Ron and Dub, and all these guys were like, oh, come back and just do it for fun, and put out videos whenever you feel like it. Don't kill yourself. Don't overexert yourself. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I was like, all right. I was like, let me give it a shot. Let me see what happens. And again, it's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to do it, that's it. I hop back on, and now I'm having fun, and now things are getting better because again, I'm starting to get healthy. I was, I found some things out. I found out that I was diabetic, so like now I'm working on trying to get healthy. I found this out back in November. So it's like, that's why there was like a very long break of videos from like that time up until then. Cause I was trying to adapt to the new lifestyle I'm living now and certain things. So I'm good now, man. Since November, I'm down about 40 pounds.
Nice.
I don't have to take any medication or anything. I just got to, check my blood sugar, twice a day and just watch what I'm eating. And, I've been in the gym, I've been working out, I've been eating better. And it's like, I've got so much more energy to share with everybody now. It's like, you could see it in the last couple of videos. It's like, I've just got more pep in my step, and I'm feeling like my old self again, which is good, because not only is that good for me, but it's good for my wife, it's good for my kids, it's good for my friends, it's it's good for the content, and that's and that's the whole thing. Again, it's just having fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, for sure.
Hey,
T3
Yukon.
said he's never met you, but he thinks of you as a wonderful guy. He's super helpful, and you give a good advice on YouTube. Funny and cool as fuck. So
listen, absolutely. Again, anytime, I always say this, anytime anybody wants to reach out and has advice for YouTube or equipment or things like that, my door is up, my inbox is always open. People, I get questions all the time, like, hey, why do you do this? Why do you do that? What programs do you use? What camera do you use? How do you go about filming your videos? It's like, again, what's the big secret? I don't need to keep. I'd love to share information with people. Again, I don't compete with all these other guys.
Right.
There's no point. Because then once it turns to the competition, then you lose sight of why you started to do this in the first place.
Right. I never understood why you wouldn't want to help somebody. Like, you should feel honored that somebody's asking you for help.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that people reach out and ask for help, that means something to me, because that means that people see me in a way I don't see myself.
They like what you're doing, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. That's real cool. You got
Mega Demon. What's up?
What's up, Mega Demon? Rex came in. You got what's the next con for you?
Next con is MegaCon. That's
MegaCon, right?
Yeah, that's the beginning of February, the first week of February, man. It's gonna be
Eventually,
a fun.
I want to get down there.
I'm jealous on that one.
That's my goal, is to do, like we were talking earlier, I want to do more out of state stuff.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. There's so much more for the of the world to see, and again, like, I always feel like that people get tired of seeing the same shit, in the videos. Okay, yeah, I'm going to Targets, I'm going to Walmarts, I'm going to Tate's, I'm going to Bits and Buttons, and then every once in a while, like, I'll be able, maybe like a new store pops up, and I'll go check that out and all that other stuff, and then the thing is, okay, how often are people going to get tired of seeing the same shit over and over and over again? And that's where the entertainment side of stuff comes in, because if you're just filming yourself going to store to store to store, then again, people are not going to get, people aren't going to get interested in your content. I'm fortunate enough that I've got guys around me like OG Geek and Diamond Dave, and then when I go out of state and I hang out with Big Dub and Josh Pence and Ken Poole and all these other guys, we just and Ron, we just have a fun way of our personalities just meshing and having that entertainment fun. It's like, Dave is the best, because Dave doesn't realize that when we're out hunting and filming, that he does it unintentionally, but he sets me up without even realizing it for like these one-line puns that I always, that I always drop. And he sees it coming from a mile away, like in the beginning of today's video that I put
32-inch shot.
Yeah. He's like, oh, look, it shoots 36 inches. And I was like, tell me more. Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm done.
He took off.
And he just walks away because he knows what's coming next.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
So again, that's why you gotta. It's good to have to go out with friends, and again, you play off the personalities and all that other stuff, and that's and that's where the entertainment value comes in, and that's where it's fun. Otherwise, just going to store is just like, oh well, what's the purpose in that? Yeah, you're providing people information because you're showing them what's out there, what's hitting the stores, which is always good, but again, I always have this debate with other people where people feel YouTube is a sense to provide information, and then there's the other half that feel it's to perform entertainment value. And I'm on the side that it's for entertainment value, because if I'm going to put myself on camera, trust me, I'm going to make the biggest ass out of myself I could possibly make. So that's how I feel about it. Having fun and joking with my friends is the main focal point. The toys is just really secondary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I used to get so jealous watching you guys. You know, you always get to meet up with all your buddies and go toy hunting and stuff.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Again, it's just having fun and everybody's personalities playing off of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see what we got going on here in the chat.
Oh, you put this up already.
Yeah. I missed this one.
But... Oh, I wanted to say Yukon, or did anybody watch Yukon on Salacious Rum the other day? That was funny.
I didn't yet. I'm gonna watch it on.
Did a good job on there, Yukon. That was cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Salacious Rum is pretty. It's different.
Hilarious.
It's different. Yeah.
Like the man collects comment. He hits a good point right there. Some people do get too caught up with the numbers because people feel if you have the numbers, it's going to lead to, okay, maybe these companies might see me, maybe they might send me some free stuff. And then that's when you lose sight of why you started doing this.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes a like a second job, like we were saying, Colin. It becomes like another full-time job. I can't speak for you guys, but I could speak for myself where, I use this as my outlet to escape. This is my hobby. I work a regular 9-to-5 job just like everybody else. I have a wife, I have 2 kids. I go to soccer practice, baseball practice. I have to, I got to do things to make time for myself too, to decompress. And this is where I come to do that. And again, some of us do it for fun, and then some of us want to do it because they think they could make a legitimate career out of it. But again, if you want to make a career out of it, that takes time and a lot of sacrifice. And that's not something I'm willing to bend over backwards for. Again, this is just a hobby. I'm not, trust me, I have a job that pays me a lot of money. I don't need money from YouTube. That's why, I really don't care about, monetizing my videos. I want to put out the content that I want to put out,
Right.
Again, why I use, Cult of Personality in my opening and in my end. And, when I do my figure reviews and stuff like that, I use the music that coincides with whatever I'm reviewing, with whatever wrestler it is or whatever figure it is. I want to use that music because I feel that adds another level to the review to bring the person in to actually enjoy the video or the review.
Well, I mean, I feel like, once those companies start sending people product, I feel like you kind of have to sacrifice your authenticity of your channel because, you're not just getting that product for free. Yep. That they expect something from you.
And that's the thing, and that's the thing too, it's like, so it's, you get the product and, they want you to give you your honest opinion, but we all know that you're not going to give your honest opinion because you want to do right. You want to do right by them, so they continue to send you free shit.
Yeah.
So and listen, full disclosure, I've only ever had a company send me maybe a couple of things here and there, and I finally just had enough where I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just see what happens. I reviewed it, I called it a piece of shit, and never heard from them again. And that right there just, again, it just shows you, people, these companies, and again, these companies, yeah, it's great that they're sending us free shit or they're paying us to advertise, their product and stuff like that. But again, once they get all they want to get out of you, they'll crumble you up. Throw you the shit,
on to the next.
Yeah.
Move on to the next flavor of the month.
Yep.
And that's why I stopped doing all that shit. Because again, if people are just going to get what they want to get out of me and just toss me to the curb and not make a relationship out of it, then what the fuck am I doing it for?
Right.
Yeah. You got to walk on eggshells. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm not about that.
No.
I want to be able to say what I want, do what I want, and that's it. Again, It's either you love me, or you hate me.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Oh, come on, Yukon. You're not into lizard monkey threesomes?
You never know until you try.
Yeah, come on.
Do I even want to know what a lizard monkey threesome is?
Well, just
ask Yukon.
It sounds. I mean, just think what it sounds like. I mean,
yeah, he was on Salacious Rum, so I guess I didn't watch it yet, so I guess that came up somewhere in that interview, but I don't know how. But
sure,
I'll see it at some point. But that's kind of scary. Have you ever seen Salacious Rum? Have you ever watched that, Seth? It's like a puppet.
I can listen. I will be straight as an arrow with you guys. Honestly, I don't really watch that many people on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard. It's really hard. I don't care what anybody says. It's hard to, you know, I mean, you're making your own content, and then to like watch. I usually pick like one day in the weekend where I sit there and I'll watch content on YouTube. It's like my day of watching YouTube content. You know, and it's hard to watch everything. A lot of times I'll skim through people. Like it's hard.
Yeah, like I'll watch when Mike puts out a video. I'll watch when Dubby puts out a video. I'll watch when, you know, I'll watch my core group of friends. You know, I might not always comment, but I'll put I'll put up a thumbs up and, you know, and watch it and give them the view, and I'll watch it, you know, because those are my guys. Mm-hmm. But you know, but it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch everything, you know. It's hard to watch 50 million things, especially like when I'm always trying to focus more on honing in on my craft. You know, like we were talking before, like, you know, like I'm trying to learn this new editing software right now. I just bought a new camera. I'm trying to learn that. You know, I watch a lot of tutorials and a lot of how-to videos because, again, if I'm going to, you know, I was brought up to be, if I'm going to do something, regardless of money or monetary or anything, I have to be the best. Mm-hmm. That's just the way I was brought. That's just the way my dad brought me up. I have to be the best. I have to be the best at what I do. You know, so, you know, yeah, I talk about, you know, not making it a competition with other people and everything, but it's not a competition with other people. It's just an internal thing with my, you know, with myself. You know, there are times where I'm in the middle of editing my videos and I really don't want to put out the video because I'm not happy with the way it came out, but I put it out anyway because, you know, I'm like, it's been a while since I put out, you know, content, you know, and I'm trying to get better at doing these types of things so I don't run into those types of, I don't feel feel that way as I'm in the middle of doing this stuff.
Right.
Well, and like T3 said here, you know, I never, you know, was talking about the friendships you make from doing this. I never expected to like meet all these people and like, you know, now I could travel to almost any state in the US and there's someone there I could probably meet up with and hang out with.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I mean, you want to support all of them the best you can, but you know, if you tried to watch everybody's stuff, it's damn near impossible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's times like if I'm in the kitchen cooking, I'll let somebody's new video play and I'll try to listen to it the best I can just to give them the watch hours. You know, like sometimes that's watching their, you know, supporting their stuff.
Right.
It's just it's way too hard.
My favorite thing to do is when I go to these types of shows, you know, whether I go to, you know, ICCC or I go to MegaCon or I go to New York Comic Con or I go to Toylanta. My favorite thing in the world is just when random people I don't even know just come up to me and say, "Hey, huge fan of your videos. It's a pleasure to meet. It's a pleasure to meet you." Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, it's like it's funny though because it's like never in a million years would you think that you would have people want to come up to you, talk to you, take pictures with you just for putting out like a stupid toy hunt video, you know. And it's like, you know, and my wife never really understood it up until like maybe like a year or two ago. We were actually standing Impact Wrestling was down here. And we were standing outside the venue that they were at, and we were waiting to get in. And some guy just tapped me on the shoulder, and he goes, "Holy shit!" He goes, "I can't believe you're here." He's like, "I'm a huge fan. Can I get a picture with you?" Mm-hmm. You know, I said, "Yeah, sure, of course." So I took the picture with the nice guy, talked to him for a couple minutes, and then he went on his merry way. My wife turned around and looked at me, and she goes, "You know, you always tell me about people coming up to you and stuff like that," but she's like, "I never really believed you up until now."
Yeah.
You know,
it's true. Because like at ICCC, I ran into you, and I talked to Josh Pence, and he's like, "Why didn't we get a picture?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It would just happen naturally, so I don't even think to ask." You know?
Yeah.
I blew it. You know?
Yeah. But it's
cool.
crazy. It's just crazy though. It's like, you know, never in a million years would you think that, you know?
Yeah.
Like people want to come up, they want to take pictures with you, you know, like you're some kind of, you know, celebrity.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many people came up to Mike at ICCC.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, how about me? No, get out of my face.
It's like, what is it? It's like the scene. It's like the scene in Endgame when they're sitting at the diner. When they're sitting at the diner and the two guys are coming up and talking. The kids are coming up and talking to Hulk, and you know, Ant-Man's like, "Oh, you want my autograph? I'm Ant-Man." They're like, "Oh, you never heard of me then, huh?" You know, it's just listen, man. It takes time. Again, God knows I've been doing YouTube for how long now. I mean, it takes time to build that following and that fan base. Things just don't always happen instantly. You know.
Oh no! I mean, you hear like some of the huge YouTubers, you know, where 18 million subscribers. Dude, a lot of them guys, they've been on YouTube for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, like most of the YouTube videos I watch are now like people who camp in their vans and things like that. I don't watch a whole lot of other stuff anymore. I'll turn on the people I know, and like he said, like Colin said earlier, like have it in the background a lot of times.
Yeah.
I usually, and that's why I was like, when you quit last time and stopped doing it, I was like, shit, you just messed up my lunch break, because I used to sit at my desk and watch Greg Cook, watch Dub, whoever had a new video that day, and now I'm back doing that. So today I watched yours.
Yeah, same. There you go. See, now gave you back your lunch break.
Yeah.
Oh, Rolando, what's up? I didn't even see you.
What's up,
Rolando?
It's funny too, because people are like, what are you watching? And I'm like, don't worry about it. You wouldn't understand.
And YouTube has become like a huge part of everybody's life nowadays. Even if you're not a content creator, people are always on YouTube. They're always watching something. It's like almost, I don't know. I talk to people all the time. And they're like, I watch more YouTube than I watch TV.
That's all I really watch. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because that's what it, I mean, again, you know, in reality, with however, how many channels are out there, or, you know, how many videos are out, listen, there's something out there for every person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not, you know, there's not one thing that you can't at least find on YouTube that would not, that would not interest you.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Jose?
So,
I mean, one thing I like about YouTube, unless like, I mean, I'm very into my politics and everything, but like, I don't always want to be watching stuff that's so political, like, you know,
right.
What I love about YouTube, unless you're watching something on YouTube that's political, you're not getting all that political garbage and, you know, narratives and everything else. I think that's what I think a lot of people love about, you know, watching stuff on YouTube. You don't have to deal with all that garbage.
Yeah, unless you want to. Yeah,
unless you want to.
Yeah. Unless you're into it, you know. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you turn on the TV now, you're getting, it's all political. There's political message in everything now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think that's why I find myself watching YouTube more than TV now.
The best thing I ever did was get rid of cable. I hate cable. I'll never get it back. Ever. Never, ever get it back.
No.
I just don't need it. Out of like 800 channels, I probably watched 2 or 3.
Yeah, those
it wasn't worth it.
Right. You're right. And when you're right, you're right.
To get my HBO, I'd have to buy like the biggest package there is, and you don't watch any of it.
He said the biggest package.
Yeah. There's Joe, sick old mind there. Ooh, General Kenobi, what's up?
Jose, hello there.
Yeah.
So the Royal Rumble's coming up. I don't want to get off the subject, but I know you like wrestling as much as I do. The Royal Rumble's coming up next. That's going to be a fun one, I think.
Very very excited, but also very upset at the same time.
Because it's still up in the air, though. Because there are about 6-7 names that could win. Because I don't even know if they've figured it out yet. I know they have a set plan, but
Yeah,
They could throw a monkey wrench in, not a lizard monkey, but a regular monkey.
So here's the sad part. The sad part is that it's in my backyard.
Yeah.
I'm only 4 hours away from Tampa.
Yeah.
I want to go, but then I got to buy a ticket for me. I got to buy a ticket for my wife. I got to buy a ticket for my 2 kids. That's like
wrestling.
Oh yeah, my whole family's into wrestling.
Okay.
So so that's so you got to think about it at $400 a piece. That's $1,600 in tickets.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, food, gas, hotel, merchandise. Before I know it, it's like a $3,000-$4,000 weekend.
That's why I'm not going to WrestleMania in Philly. Philly's 45 minutes from me.
Right.
With
so
traffic.
I mean,
right. And $50 to park.
Yep.
Right off the bat.
Yep.
You got to have a beer, so that's $20.
Easily $800 because it's a ticket for WrestleMania. It's a ticket for WrestleMania.
The cheapest me and my buddy could find was $1,000.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
That's the cheapest. No, I'm not fucking paying that.
Man, it's just so sad, dude.
I'll sit right here on them comfortable chairs and I'll relax and I'll watch it. And
I'll sit in the comfort of my own home and sit in the comfort of my own home and that's it. That's the sad part because one of the things on my bucket list is to do a Rumble and to go to and do Mania at some point. Those are like 2 up on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Number 1 on my bucket list is to meet CM Punk. So that's number 1. But but as far as like the story goes, it can go many of ways. I mean, listen, the only 2 people that are in my mind that are a lock to win the Rumble, it's either Cody or it's Punk.
Right.
Just because that's how it sets up, it's going to set up Mania. Now, as far as you throw a guy like Gunther in the mix, Gunther ain't going to win. Gunther's actually going to probably wind up fighting Brock at Mania. And Brock's going to win the Intercontinental belt, which will be interesting because I don't think he's ever held that belt.
No.
So maybe it's time they make Brock like a Triple Crown champ or something like that, where he wins all the belts.
Maybe.
But we all know. Listen, it's going to be Punk versus Seth at Mania night 1.
Well, Seth is hurt too, so I don't know how bad he's hurt, honestly. But
night 2 is going to be Cody and Roman.
I hope so.
Cody's gonna finish the story, and and then that'll be it, and then they'll go on from there. I mean, listen, if we have another year of Mania where fucking Roman wins again, I mean, people are just gonna be so over this shit by now. Because
I was just gonna say it. I was like, so are you guys sure this time is Cody gonna finish it this time?
So here's the whole thing with Roman, and here's why him actually winning at Mania is still highly probable.
Hogan,
because they want him. Yeah, exactly. They want him to beat Hogan's record for consecutive days as champion. The only way to do that is that he's got to win at Mania, and then he's got to make it to SummerSlam, because I think right after SummerSlam, that's when he beats Hogan in days. But it's kind of like, what I look when I never really gave it much thought to now, but when I hear the whole thing as far as like days as consecutive champ, I kind of almost equivalent that to like the like the home run record for baseball. Babe Ruth was for the longest time, and then Hank Aaron came along and then overtook that, and then eventually years down the road, okay, freaking Barry Bonds came and did that or whatever. So I mean,
even if Roman Reigns makes it to SummerSlam with the belt, which I hope he doesn't, because I want Seth my ass. I want Cody to win it, and then I want Randy Orton to turn on him, and they can fight at SummerSlam.
Yeah, dude. Listen. Listen. It could go multiple ways. What they could do. Maybe they have Roman drop the title at Rumble.
I would hope.
He drops it to Randy, and then that sets up. First of all, the one thing that people get misconstrued, the whole Cody finishing the story thing isn't to do with him beating Roman Reigns. It's just him winning that championship. And
I think it'd be sweeter if he beat Roman, though. I think it would be
obviously
sweeter.
It would be sweeter if he beats Roman, but you know what? But think about it if they set it up to where he fights a guy like Randy. You know, the guy who brought him into the business, the guy who trained him, mentored him, all this other stuff. You know, there's a story to be told with that.
Yeah. That's why I think the Monday after Mania, you know, Orton comes out, you know, I brought you into this business. I helped you out to get in this business. And then he just RKOs him out of nowhere. And then they have a nice feud going into SummerSlam. But what I was going to say about Roman is even if he holds it to SummerSlam, he hasn't defended it a quarter as much as Hogan did.
Nah.
So is his run as legitimate as Hulk Hogan defending like on Saturday Night's Main Event, on house shows, on pay-per-views, everything that he did? Is it as legitimate? You also got
to, and again, this is the same thing that I go back to. I go back to referencing like basketball. All right, look at the era that Jordan played in.
Mm-hmm.
Look and how physical basketball was back then compared to where we are now. So use that for reference with what I'm going to say now. So now again, back in the 80s, all those guys were all hopped up on all kinds of fucking painkillers, steroids, drugs, you name it. They were doing it to get themselves through, you know, that's why Hogan was able to, you know, wrestle as many days as he did. And those guys were able to do that shit back then. Now, you know, they have all their wellness policies and their drug testing and everything's everything's somewhat regulated now, you know. And again, that's why you get guys like The Rock and Cena, you know, those guys that have become part-timers, which is basically where Roman's been, you know, Brock, you know, all these guys have been part-timers now. That's their way of being able to preserve their health, so they don't have to resort to that stuff, you know. So they do less dates a year, but do the premium live events. But again, you know, like you said, like what you said is a legitimate, you know, could raise a legitimate question. Like, you know, is it a legitimate thing if he breaks Hogan's record because of how many days he held the title? If you want to nitpick it, you know, it's kind of like what they did with Maris after he broke the home run record. You know, they put an asterisk next to next to it because they added more games, you know, more games onto it. You know, again, did Hogan wrestle more days than Roman Reigns? Absolutely, no question about it.
Right.
But Roman still held the title for the same amount of time. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. There's going to be 50-50 on that, I guess.
Yeah. Again, it's to each his own and how you want to interpret it, you know?
Yeah.
So
the other thing that irritated me was like when The Rock comes back, so now he might throw a monkey wrench into Cody's plans, but I think what they're going to do, excuse me. What they're going to do is maybe have Roman Rock night one, and then Roman wins, and then the next night Cody beats the Roman. That way,
I've heard that.
But
do we really need The Rock still?
No.
Can he just retire?
Here's the thing with that. Well, they say that Cody won because Roman had to fight 2 days. I mean, is that going to take away the legitimacy of that?
Well, and then that goes back, and then that backtrack to the whole CM Punk situation. CM Punk is going to headline one of the nights. He didn't come back. He trust me. He could have stayed home, but I'm sure Triple H was like, "Listen, I'll get you one of the nights."
Yeah, but you know what? If you can't be the last match, the next best thing is the first match. Yeah. And they put Seth on the first match a lot. If you look at a lot of his matches at pay-per-views, he opens up a lot. He gets the crowd going. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, listen, it's like, you know, like Yukon saying it right now. You can't take Roman serious when he only had 11 matches. You know, that's the legit thing. Now, as far as The Rock goes, you know, the only reason why The Rock is involved is because of what happened on what is it, the show that he did, the Young Rock show, where he had that segment where Roman Reigns was a kid and he was climbing all over him, and he's like, oh, a match that big is only good, can only headline WrestleMania, and that's kind of what started the whole thing anyway.
Yeah.
And again, listen, The Rock has never really had a retirement match or a goodbye match.
No, that's true.
So
have it later. We don't need it at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I mean, he definitely deserves that. I mean,
he does.
Yeah, he definitely deserves a send off. I mean, listen, and what better way to get sent off than to have your cousin, your cousin be, you lose the family, so it's like, yeah, I get it, but again, I don't think it's going to happen just yet. I think that Cody needs to get his win at Mania. I think a lot of people are going to be upset if they stray from that. And Punk and Rollins definitely has to happen. I see Punk and Rollins happening night 1 and Roman and Cody night 2.
Yeah, for sure.
So
we'll see how bad Seth hurt though. I don't know.
Well, the Man Collects just became Well Elephant Figures 200 subscriber.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
So thank
sir.
you for that. We
There you
finally
go.
reached 200 subscribers.
And it's all because of you, Seth.
no. Not because of me. I'm the furthest thing from it. Listen, I'm the dude disguised as a dude playing another dude.
Oh, I just watched that movie. That movie's so good.
Yeah. Listen, I did not the first time I watched it, I did not realize that Tom Cruise was the
really?
the corporate. Yep. I was thrown for such a loop. I didn't even realize it. And then when I saw his name come up in the credits, I was like, holy shit, that was fucking Tom Cruise.
Right,
what movie is this?
Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if they could make that movie nowadays.
Hell no.
There's a lot of movies back then they can't make now.
That wasn't even that long ago. That was,
early 90s.
I was just having this conversation with Dave the other day when we were hanging out. We were talking about this. There's a lot of shit and a lot of movies and stuff that were made back in the 80s that if you try to incorporate some of that shit in today's time, oh my God, would you get so fucking canceled?
Yeah.
Oh,
Porky's.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Porky's?
Right.
There's a slew of them.
Yeah, you could pretty much any movie back then, and
right.
It's tough. It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's why I always say the 80s movies are the best because they just gave zero fucks back then.
No question.
I love the 80s. I wish I could go back.
Tropic Thunder was 2007. There you go.
Was it really? I thought it was earlier than that. That's crazy.
No, it's not even that. I mean, it's 2007. It's pretty long ago already, but it's still not that old,
17 years, but it seems like, damn. Yeah. 2008, he said. Sorry.
All right, here's a question from T3. What happens when Damian Priest and the MIB briefcase?
Oh, that's getting cashed in.
That Money in the Bank, that briefcase it's worthless anymore.
Yeah, but they make the guy. You know what the problem is that they make them hold on to it too long, and I guess I'd have to say it depends on who the person is holding the briefcase.
Yeah, look at the year Otis held it. Then he
and then the Miz stole it. The Miz stole it from him.
Yeah, what the hell? That ruined it. That there took it all away. Like you have to almost cash in the same night or a few weeks later for it to be legitimate. Yeah. He's held it since July, and it's just sitting there, and he keeps carrying it around, and now it's lost its luster.
Well, every time Priest has gone to cash it in, someone interrupts him from doing it. So I mean.
Oh, of course.
And then somebody cashed it in on the United States belt last year. What was that? Austin Theory.
Yeah, Austin Theory,
like,
and he failed. He lost.
Yeah, but who would do that?
Cash in.
Like you don't want the United States belt. You want the world belt.
Well, and again, that's because Austin Theory was a McMahon guy, not a Triple H.
Yeah,
not a Triple H guy. So once Triple H took over, they buried Austin Theory.
Yeah. Notice you don't see him on TV a ton. Him or almost.
Oh, you do. You see him. You see him. He's with Grayson
with Waller.
Grayson Waller now.
He's not
at the capacity he was at before. No,
right, exactly. Yeah, and almost used to see him almost every night, but now you don't see him at all.
Yeah, but there's nothing you could do with that guy. That guy,
No.
The guy has very little in-ring technicality.
Yeah.
He's an attraction. He was like the Big Show or Andre the Giant. It's and again, like, what are you going to do? You're going to put him up against the guy not even a quarter of his size, and just have a squash match? I mean,
Yeah, and that's what they were doing. They put him against what's the guy with Otis? What's his name?
Chad Gable.
Yeah, they put come on, honestly, like you really think he's gonna win? I mean, it's scripted. He could win if they want him to, but it's just silly. That's all. I think those Giants, it's like something that happened in the 80s, that worked back then. It doesn't work now. It's
no.
It's over,
No, Triple H has got the right formula. He's just got to, you got to put the right pieces together. But once Triple H really started slowly taking over creative, that's when WWE got better again. Because for like the longest time, it was bad. It was so bad to watch. Once McMahon was out of the picture, forget about it. Night and day difference.
So Yukon says Rollins may be hurt. Like I said, if he is, do they do Cody versus Punk? No. I think what they do is they got to have a tournament, really quick tournament, to have somebody crown the new champion. McIntyre takes it. McIntyre versus Cody or McIntyre versus Punk at Mania, because they just had a little exchange too in the ring.
Yeah.
And they do have history. Then Punk takes it off him. It kind of hot potatoes the belt, but you still get the same result you wanted anyway. So
now here's the thing. Cody should not be going for that belt. Cody needs to go for the belt that Roman.
No, I meant Punk.
Roman has.
If I said Cody, I meant Punk.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No, you can't. No, Cody and Punk is that's another Mania in itself, or a SummerSlam.
Yeah, they are going to have a face-to-face next week.
Next week. Yeah, Monday. We'll see what happens. I'm clamoring at the bit for that.
I wish they were allowed to like trash AEW a little bit, just because that would be cool.
You know what? I actually like that they don't.
They don't care about them, I guess, as much.
Yeah, because again, the difference between the two companies is that you've got one company that's stood the test of time. They know how to do storytelling. They know how to do short-term, long-term, intermediate storytelling. Then you get a company like AEW. You get all these guys that are, former WWE employees or Impact employees, or they're independent stars, and you get a fanboy like Tony Khan, and you got all the wrong people in place.
Yeah.
They don't do storytelling. It's like they just put matches together and
it's terrible.
And that's it. And people don't want to see the matches. People want to see storytelling. That's why the whole thing with, the best story AEW had going, the two best stories AEW ever had was the whole MJF and CM Punk feud. And then the whole story that they kind of just did with the MJF Devil. And Adam Cole and the Devil and all that.
It was corny as hell though. At the end, it was like,
the ending kind of fell flat. I agree.
Yeah, because here's Adam Cole is the Devil, but now MJF is out for probably a year. That's if he ever comes back. He may go to WWE. I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing. There's so many stories going surrounding MJF, whether he really did re-sign with AEW at some point, or his AEW contract is legitimately up. I mean, one thing 100% for sure, the dude is hurt. The dude is legitimately hurt. Yeah. He needs to heal up, get some surgery done, and and recover from that. But as far as like his contract, like everybody says different things. So it's like you don't know what to believe or whatnot. I mean, my thing is with MJF, I think out of everybody in AEW, the best homegrown talent is MJF. Yeah. My only problem is that if you take an MJF the way he is in AEW and bring him over to WWE, he's going to get watered down.
Yeah. And they're going to change his name. What's going to be like RTJ or something?
No. MJF is his name. That he
but they won't let him keep that most likely unless he puts that in clause. I would hope they would.
He owns that. That's his own name. He owns that stuff.
You know how they are, though. They want to change it. You know how they are. Very select few get to keep what they want, like Cody. But hopefully he would be able to.
Here's the one thing that people didn't realize that I knew immediately that indicated to me that CM Punk was coming back. So the week before CM Punk came back, they what is it? Living Color, who sings Cult of Personality. They just did a remastered version of Cult of Personality. The reason they did that is for Punk to use it, which is what he uses now in WWE, because AEW still holds the license to the original Cult of Personality. So they did that whole thing so he can have that in WWE. Otherwise, there would have been there would have been an issue. See, a lot of people didn't catch on to that. Fortunately enough, I did. That's why I was like, okay, he's coming back. Because they just wouldn't do that. They just would, And CM Punk is friends with the guys in Living Color, so it only makes sense for that to happen.
It was kind of like when Edge came to AEW, and he got to use the rated R superstar. It's because WWE let that lapse.
He owns the rights. Well, it's not even that. He owns the rights to it.
Yeah. So it was kind of weird seeing him come out, but I don't. It's just not the same. Like when you go from WWE to AEW, you can't use the name that you were using. So it's like everybody's using like Dolph Ziggler. Now he's Nick Nemeth.
He's using his real name, which is Nick Nemeth. Yeah.
I mean, Dolph Ziggler is not the best name, but you know him by that now. So
exactly. And listen, what is it? Take a guy like Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. If he came back to because people always asking him if he has any interest in going back to WWE, and he says if he goes back to WWE, it's going to be as Matt Cardona. It's not going to be as Zack Ryder.
I just watched the interview today where he said that too. Yeah.
So Seth, if you were a pro wrestler, what would your name be?
Ooh, that's a good question. Back in the day when I first started YouTube, I always used to, when we used to do the Geek Show, and we always used to introduce ourselves. Like I came up with like some of the most random monikers. I used to call myself the voice of the voiceless. I used to call myself the Hebrew Hammer was a very popular one.
That's pretty good.
So yeah. I mean, it's hard to say like what my actual like stage name would be. I mean, but I can tell you one thing. As far as like what my character would be, my character would probably be more in line as like someone like CM Punk. Like I'll come out, don't give a shit. I'll talk straight to you. I'll call you out on your shit. I'll use real life stuff for story, for storylines and things like that. Because again, that's what makes it entertaining.
All right.
Yeah. That's what I would do too. I would like that too.
I mean, when I used to be a lot bigger, now since I'm losing all this weight, when I used to be a lot bigger, I at one point I wanted to call myself, what is it, the ingestible bulk. So so it's so I mean, again, it's it's hard to say. I don't know what my name would be.
We could have a faction. We could call ourselves the Chippin' Whales.
The Chippin' Whales.
Yeah. And we can come out like, with little tuxedos on that barely fit, like fat man little coat.
I always wanted to create a faction with toy hunters and stuff like that. And I wanted to call it the TWO, the Toy World Order.
There you go.
But it's like, what? Too many cooks in the kitchen sometimes leads to drama, and I don't need any of that shit in my life. So that's why I just kind of do my own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you start teaming up with people,
Yeah.
Well,
we got a good group there.
Oh yeah, I mean
all them.
Yeah, Captain Powerlift. We got
the muscle of the group.
Oh, he's definitely. Listen, no lie. Captain Powerlift has become my unofficial bodyguard.
Yeah.
So like when we're out about at the cons and the shows and stuff, like he'll tell people to back up.
Yeah.
So,
like
that's funny.
Some kid comes after a toy. He's like, "Back off, kid. This is his toy."
And it's funny. I think the only you know, out of all the years I've been doing this, I think the only time like I ever kind of like, I wouldn't say yelled or anything, but I got a little short with somebody was at MegaCon maybe like 3-4 years ago. You know, we were sitting, you know, we were all sitting down and we've already been on our feet for hours and we were sitting down and we were eating. And, you know, people, you know, this one guy came up and he wanted to talk and sit. And I'm like, listen, dude, I'm like, I appreciate the fact that you want to like talk to me. I'm like, if you could just give me 5 minutes just so I can relax for a couple of minutes and just eat, I'm all yours. You know, and he took that the wrong way and he's like, oh, you're a dick.
Really?
It's like I literally just sat down and I just wanted to eat my food. And I'm like, if you just give me, and I told the guy, I was like, listen, I was like, just give me 5 minutes. Let me eat. You can ask me everything and anything until you're blue in the face.
Right. Huh.
So
he got butthurt over it.
He was just looking for a reason then, you know, because
I mean, you know, listen, I'm always, you know, listen, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, it's like, it's a, you know what, I would say it's of like a common sense thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you see someone sitting down eating and, you know, don't listen, whether the person's a YouTube celebrity, a regular celebrity, or professional wrestler, or an athlete or something, don't interrupt people. Don't interrupt people while they're trying to grab a meal. It's enough that they get pulled, you know, that people get pulled in 50 different directions throughout the day. The few times that they're actually able to sit down and collect their thoughts is when they're having a meal.
Well, it's like when you're at somebody's house having dinner or something like that. You know when they're ready to call it a night. You know when it's time to go. So like just get, you know,
don't overstay your welcome.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's an hour. It was a nice thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, my pleasure. I think what is it? I'm officially in the 3-timers club. Is there anybody that's been on more than me?
I think you and Burf are the only two who's been on multiple times. Yeah.
All right. Well, I gotta break that record. So you guys gotta have me back a few more times before the year's up. I gotta break that record. I gotta solidify myself as the top guest.
That should not be a problem. So we got an open door policy with you, so you can come on anytime you want. Come on after MegaCon. Let us know how it went.
Definitely.
Yeah. So next week here we're gonna have Raul of the Dead. He makes horror movies. He I think smaller horror movies, like not you know, big like Friday the 13th type, but like smaller and like smaller ones. And he'll be on here with us next week. I'm not sure how to put that, but anyway.
Nice.
But Raul of the Dead, he'll be on here next week. So we'll catch you backstage real quick. We'll say our goodbyes.
Yeah.
And for now, I haven't said this in a while. That's what effing figures. We'll see you next time.
See you guys later.